Hey guys, welcome to lesson 10, multiplying and dividing monomials using exponent rules. So we're using the exponent rules we learned yesterday in order to multiply and divide monomials. You'll see what those are in a second. So our learning goal today, I'm learning what an algebraic term monomial is and how to multiply and divide them using exponent rules. So an algebraic term or a monomial consists of a numerical coefficient or a number and a variable part, so letters. So basically there's a number and there's a letter, and that makes up a monomial. Okay, so if we look at what this means exactly, so these are some algebraic terms, some monomials, okay? And if we break these up into numerical coefficient and the variable part, here's what it looks like. So numerical is just the number in front. So we literally just have 12 here, and then x is the variable, so x here. Okay, so we're just breaking it up into number and variable. So -5 is the number, and xy is the variable. 7 is the number, and x squared is the variable in this one. -3 is the number, and y to the power of 4 is the variable. Now this one just has a number, so just -5, and there's no variable. Okay, so this is just a number. This one has no number in front, or you can consider this a 1. Okay, you can always imagine there's a 1 in front of a monomial like this, and then your variable, or your variable is x squared. And the final one, we have a negative in front of the variable, so we can imagine that's a -1 in front, and then our variable is xy squared. Okay, so that's just breaking up the numeric coefficient, so whatever number's in front, and the variable. And when we multiply and divide these, we want to kind of do this in our head and think of them separately. You'll see what I mean in this example. So it tells us to simplify by multiplying coefficients and applying exponent rules to the variables. So when we do these, if you look at your numbers in front, so the 3 and the -2, this is just regular multiplication, okay? So we do 3 times 2, 3 times -2, which would be -6. And then when we multiply our x's, this is like multiplying powers, like we did yesterday. So we have x, this is technically to the power of 1, right? Times x to the power of 2. When we multiply powers, we add exponents. So this is 1 plus 2. So our answer would be 1 plus 2 is 3, so it's x to the 3. And that's our final answer. So again, you just multiply the numbers out front, and then do your exponent rules with the variables. Okay. So if we look at this next one, the numbers out front are -5 and -3. If we multiply those, negative times a negative is a positive. 5 times 3 is 15. So we have 15. And then again, we add exponents here. So 4 plus 5, we're adding. So we have y, because the base always stays the same. So y, 4 plus 5 is 9. So 15, and then y to the 9. Okay. Next one, again, numbers in front. We have -4 times 3. We just multiply those together to get -12. And then we have a times a, which if you picture these both have a 1, you're doing 1 plus 1, which is 2. So it's a squared, or a to the power of 2. Okay, and that is the answer to that one. Now we're getting a bit more complicated where we have 2 variables and also coefficient out front. So we need to just multiply these 2 numbers out front like normal. So 3 times 7 is 21. Then we want to break this down into each variable. So we want to only look at the x's right now. And again, we are adding exponents. Okay, so we keep the base the same, so it stays as x. And then 4 plus 5 is 9. And then we have y, and then we do 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So you have y to the exponent of 3. And that's it for that one. Okay. Moving on. This is the same sort of steps every time, right? So we have a number in front, and we just do regular multiplication with those numbers. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. And then we have an x, and then because we're multiplying, we add exponents. 2 plus 5 is 7. And that's our final answer. Next one, 6x times 5x. So we just do 6 times 5 is 30. X times x. So we have x, and then if we add these exponents, it's x to the 1 and x to the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So it's 30x squared. Okay. This one, now we have 3 terms to do. I recommend you can multiply them all at once, but maybe just do 2 at a time to start. So if we multiply negative 6 and negative 3, that would give us positive 18. Okay, let's keep this in brackets. And then we have a to the 3 times a to the 4. So if we add these exponents, 3 plus 4 is 7, so we have a to the 7. And then this is still multiplying a to the 2, because we haven't done a to the 2 yet. Okay. Then just remember, if we have just a variable, you could picture this as a 1. So it'd be like 18 times 1, which is still just 18. And then we have a, and then again we add our exponents. So 7 plus 2 is 9. And that would be our final answer. 18 with a to the power of 9. Okay. Next one, again, we have multiple variables going on here, but we just have to take it one step at a time. So 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. And then we have an x, so we'll write down the x. And we're adding exponents. So this one has a 1. And then, so it's 1 plus 2, which is 3. Then we have y squared, or y to the 2, and then y to the 1. So this is, again, 2 plus 1, which is also 3. So y to the 3. So we have negative 35, x cubed, y cubed. And that is our answer. Okay. Continuing on. Again, pause this video if you need to, if I'm going too quick. And go back if you need to. So this next one here, so it's negative x, and you can picture this as negative 1x, right? If you have just a negative, you can picture it as negative 1. So we're technically doing negative 1 times negative 3 here. Okay. Negative 1 times negative 3 would give us a positive 3. And then we have x times x, which we're just doing 1 plus 1, which is 2. So it's x squared. Okay. So x times x is x squared. And then negative 1 times negative 3 is just positive 3. And that's our answer. Next one, we have 3 numbers again. And just remember, the numbers out front, we're just multiplying those. So 2 times 3 times negative 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times negative 6, if we do this all at once, is negative 36. Okay, then these two have a y. So we just do y to the power of 1 times y to the power of 2. So we just add exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay. And that is our answer there. And finally, k here. Now we have 3 variables on the second term. But again, we just do one thing at a time. So we start with negative 5 times 2, which is negative 10. And then a to the 4 times a. That just adds 1 on, so now we're at a to the 5. And then we have b to the 5 times b. So again, that just adds 1 on, so now we have b to the 6. This term doesn't have a c, but this one does. So we're just going to leave a c there. There's still no exponent on the c because it's not being multiplied by anything. But the c is still there. And that is our final answer. Okay. So now we can move back onto the back side. And this is where we're going to start dividing monomials. Okay. So when we're dividing, again, we just do term by term. So we do the numbers first and then the variables after. This one is 10 x to the power of 8 and 2x to the power of 6. Okay. So because we're dividing here, so we just do 10 divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then just remember, when you're dividing powers, you subtract exponents. Subtract, okay? So we have 8 minus 6, which gives us x to the power of 2. So our final answer is 5x squared. Okay. Next one. Again, we're dividing. So we divide the numbers first. Negative 36 divided by 9 is negative 4. And then when we're dividing powers, we subtract the exponents. So we have y, and it's going to be 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay. And continuing on here. Dividing here, 25 divided by negative 5 is negative 5. And then we have an r, and we have 8 minus 5, right? We're subtracting exponents. 8 minus 5 is 3. So that is our final answer there. Okay. And again here, dividing the numbers out front. 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. Then we have x to the power of 3 divided by x, which is x squared. Right, because we're doing 3 minus 1. So just x squared. That's our final answer. Okay, continuing to move forward here. This one, we have negative 32 divided by negative 8, which would be positive 4. And then we just do one variable at a time. So x to the 4 minus x to the 2. We're dividing them, but we subtract exponents. So that gives us x squared. And then we have 9 minus 6. So we have y to the 3. 9 minus 6 is 3. And that is our answer there. Okay. And as we go forward, things get a little bit more complicated, but it's always the same steps. And you just, even though this looks a bit crazy here, you want to just take it one thing at a time, right? Just focus on, so we're dividing the numbers out front. Negative 72 divided by negative 12 is, so 6 times 12 would be, 72. So this is, if we divide these, we get 6. Okay. And then we have a and a. So we subtract those exponents. 7 minus 6 is just 1. So really we can just leave this as just a, because it's just a to the 1. Okay. Our next variable is b. And we have 5 minus 1, which is 4. And the last variable is c. We have 6 minus 4, which is 2. And that is our final answer. Okay. Next one. 8 divided by 2, if we're just looking at the numbers out front, is 4. And then dividing exponents, we have a, and it's 9 minus 6, so a to the 3. Okay. Again, just focus on the numbers here first. So we have 100 divided by negative 20, which is positive 5. Sorry, not positive. This is a negative 20 and this one's positive, so we actually get a negative 5. And then C12 minus C11. So we have C12 minus 11 is 1. So again, you can just leave it as C. You don't need to put the 1 there. And then our last variable is D, and we have 7 minus 1, which is 6. So we have negative 5C, and then D to the power of 6. Okay. Here, we have 24 divided by negative 3, which is negative 8. Then we have x as our variable. 12 minus 9 is 3. That's our final answer. And the last one here, 30 divided by 2 is 15. And then we have A, and we have 5 minus 5. Whoa. This is where things are a little different. So 5 minus 5 is 0. And then if you guys go ahead and type in, this isn't 1, right? It's 0. So if you go ahead and type anything into your calculator to the power of 0, it turns out that anything to the power of 0 is just 1. So this is technically just 15 times 1, which is just 15. And we will learn more about this in a future lesson. But it's good to know anything to the power of 0 is just 1. So this answer will just be 15, and the A will just go away. Okay. Last two examples. This is combining both multiplying and dividing. So we can do these in a couple steps. When you have a fraction like this, you want to do what's on the top first, and then you divide after. Okay. So we're going to do negative 3 times 8, which is negative 24. And then x to the 4 times x to the 3. We add exponents, so 4 plus 3 is 7. And this is still being divided by negative 6, x to the 5. Okay. Dividing the number out front, negative 24 divided by negative 6 is just positive 4. And then we have an x. 7 minus 5 is 2. Okay. Okay, next one. Negative 12 times 4. Again, doing the top first. Negative 12 times 4 is 48. Negative 48. And then we have a to the 7 times a to the 5, which is a to the 12. Okay. And then this is all over negative 6a to the 10. Okay, we're dividing what we got up here by what's down here. And finally, 48 divided by 6. 48 divided by 6 would be, so 36 is 6. 7 is 42. So another 6 is 8. So this would be 8 if you divide it. And then we have A, 12 minus 10 is 2. And that is our final answer. And that is a lesson. So we will have a quiz on this and exponent rules tomorrow, a short EdSP quiz. So please make sure you're preparing for that by working on the practice I've provided. Solutions are on the back, so just make sure you're double checking those when you're done. Good luck, guys.